Okay, this is Ricky with Mid-Atlantic Storm Protection. Today we're going to be showing you how to do a horizontal install. Horizontal install, we're going to need our track bolts, we're going to need wing nuts, we need some masking tape. This process is super easy. What we have is a studless track on each side, the studless track. So what we want to do is we slide the bolts in, but once we install the very first panel, we can no longer slide bolts from the bottom because the panel is bolted. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some bolts, we're going to slide them up in here like a magazine on a gun, and we're going to store our bolts in the top. So all we need is just a piece of tape. I'll put a little pull tab on it so it doesn't stick, and we're going to go up here and we're going to put the tape on. We'll do the same thing on the other side. We're going to slide enough bolts in to about this height. The last two panels, we would need a small step ladder or a step stool, and we can put the last bolts in through the top. So I'm just going to grab some bolts here. As you can see, these bolts are square headed. They just slide into this track. So we're just going to slide a bunch of them in here, and we're going to build a little surplus of them. Okay, we're going to take them up. We're going to carefully remove our tape here by pulling it back. We're going to slide the bolts past, and we're going to put our tape back. Now we're going to keep reusing that tape, so we want to make sure we don't get it to stick on each other. Same thing on this side. Slide the bolts in. Slide them up. I'm going to pull the tape back, put it past. There we are. Okay. We're just a few minutes from being completed. Now, we're going to install our first panel. I'm going to take a bolt. We're going to slide it in here. I'm going to put a piece of tape down here just to hold it in place until we get the first panel tight, just like that. We'll do the same thing over here with the piece of tape. Just slide the bolt in. Put a piece of tape here at the bottom. About 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch from the bottom, just like that. Okay, as you can see, the bolt is held in place. We're going to grab some wing nuts. So the way these key slots are set up on these windows, we have a big hole and a little hole. So theoretically, if you want to shine up here, we put it on the big hole over the bolt head, then we're going to slide it over to the little hole. You can see it's on the big, we slide it to the little, and that's where we tighten it. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to place it over the bolt, over the bolt. We're going to slide it onto the small side. You can see how we slid it, and all we're going to do is attach a wing nut. And before we tighten, we always want to look ahead up here to make sure that we got good opening for the slot. So that's the first panel. The first panel is up. Now here's the trick. Since the bolt's tight at the bottom, we can feed no more bolts. We got all the bolts up here. So what we're going to do, we're going to hold them all but one. We're going to pull the tape out. We're going to let it drop. And all we're going to do is just place the bolt in the track. Same thing on this side, hold them all but one, let it drop, and put your bolt in. Then it's as simple as this. We take the next panel, put it over, slide it, and we tighten it. So again, before we tighten this up, we want to make sure that we got enough room for our next bolt to fit in. Hold them all but one, drop the bolt, hold them all but one, let it drop, put your bolt in, put the bolt in. On this particular panel, we're going to put a clear. Same thing, wing nut, tighten. As you can see, I'm doing this by myself. It is easier with 2 people, but it can be done with 1 person. All right, so we put another bolt in. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go like this. We're going to continue the rest of the way up. And if you notice, this is a 6-foot window. We have 3 panels installed. We just installed the remaining 3 panels the exact same way, and then the install is complete. To take down, you just reverse the process, one at a time. Now there is a trick to installing these on any of our panel systems. They all have the impact rating stamped on them. Typically, that's what you want to cover up with the next panel. So these panels do have a right and a left. So if you notice the way that the slots are positioned, and each panel will cover the writing. You can see it has writing here. Next panel covers it. Writing, next panel covers. We work our way up the window.